New iPhone, new cases. Let's check these out. Dave Taylor here, and I have my new iPhone 11 Pro. Well, you can see on the back with all those darn cameras, it's definitely the 11 Pro. Now, the 11, the 11 Pro, and the 11 Pro Max are all the new cameras from Apple, and therefore, every case manufacturer on the known universe, or in the known universe, is now making cases for those too. So, I have a ton of cases to check out. Today, we're just going to focus on two manufacturers. We're going to focus on Speck, and they sent me a bunch of cases to check out. And we're going to focus on Nomad, and they're very different kinds of cases. So Nomad is much more this sort of executive style with leather and everything. So let's start with Speck. So Speck sent me three cases. Let's see which one's which. Let's see. So this is the Presidio Stay Clear. Let me take it out. And this is something where it is a clear case, but it's still highly protective. So there are three tests I look at, or three things I look at when I'm evaluating a case. The first one is there a bezel above the screen, which is critically important because if your phone falls like that, you want the case to absorb the impact, not the glass surface. Now, I have a screen protector on here, but I don't care. I still want the bezel to be higher than that. So that's factor number one. Factor number two is just a fit and finish. Are the cutouts in exactly the right place? Are they, do they have holes so you can get to the speaker? Is it a nice big opening for the cable, for charging? And then the third factor, so that's two, the third factor is, does it charge wirelessly? So let's see. Here I happen to have a wireless charger, and you can see this one's working just fine. So let's look at this first. This is the Presidio Stay Clear, and they've redesigned the material to make sure that it never discolors. In fact, they say that it has a lifetime guarantee, right? Stays clear guaranteed. So if you're a couple of years into it and it's all yellowy or something, then send them a photo or send them the case, they'll send you a new one, right? That's what the guarantee means. Now, all of the Speck cases, they all survive 13-foot drops, and a lot of that is because there's really nice protection on the edges. Now, the back is harder because it's a full surface, so there's a lot taking that impact, and the front is harder too, but again, the front does have a bezel. There ain't much, maybe like a millimeter, maybe, but it's enough that it's above the surface of the glass, so props to them for that. Now, one of the other interesting things that Speck does is they use microban antimicrobial materials. So this actually resists picking up germs and microbes and all that. And if you know anything about how not clean phones are, that's probably not a bad idea. Is it like a make or break sort of characteristic? Probably not, but still pretty cool. They all have a lifetime warranty. They all have the highly recognizable Speck icon in the corner. So this is the Presidio Stay Clear. And I gotta say, they didn't quite nail the cutout. So you can see here on the left side where the volume up and down is. I kind of was hoping that would be centered, but otherwise, it's very nice. They did a really nice job with all the fit and finish and the bezel, and obviously you can see it actually works fine with wireless charging. Lots to like here. So this is the Stay Clear, and it turns out all of their cases are the same price, which is kind of an interesting strategy. It does make it easier, so we'll talk about price at the end. One of the other things is you should be able to get your phone out of the case. Let's see, I somehow took a screenshot doing that. It's exciting, right? So then the next case they sent me is they sent me the Presidio Pro. And so this has all the same basic characteristics, except instead of being transparent, it's actually a solid color. So you can see much more what the case is offering. And it's actually a subtle two-tone because the inside is a different color to the outside. And that's good because they're using different materials. So the outside is a little bit of a softer rubber, but the inside, it's pretty darn firm actually. So, and that's helping it absorb impact. Now, since I think they use the same mold on all of these, let's see, am I putting this in right? Yep, looks like it. It's kind of hard to do it wrong when you have this monster set of camera lenses, right? So let's see if this will fit in. There we go. So basically, all the cutouts and everything are exactly the same as with the clear, which means that on the back and everything's exactly perfect except that one switch. And I think the entire Speck line has that characteristic. And here's my guess. My guess is they said, we can't center it because the volume up down buttons are too close. And if we make it really small, you can't reach it with your finger. So that's the trade-off. So my guess is that they didn't make a mistake trying to figure out how to get that to fit and be centered. It's more a factor of how Apple designed the phone itself. So I don't know that it's fair to gig them off on this. So otherwise, it's a little bit of a smooth texture. And it has that same bezel above, so I'm getting protection here from a straight down. And does it charge? Well, let's find out. Voila, so it charges. So all the Speck cases are going to be like that. This one also 13-foot drop, the microband antimicrobial material, and it comes in a ton of colors. So this comes in black, gray, 2 different colors of blue, and pink. So here, for example, are the 2 colors of blue. They also sent me a dark blue one. Which one's going to be your favorite? Well, I like having choices. So you can decide which one actually you prefer. And so that is the Presidio Pro. And then the only other one, and frankly my favorite of their line, is the Presidio Grip. So they're all Presidios, which is a very nice place to check out if you're in San Francisco. And the Grip basically is the same idea again, but this time there's sort of ribbing on it, so it's much easier to hold. And I'm a huge fan of the Presidio Grip style. It just has a really nice feel in your hands, and I think it's a great compromise of, I don't know what I'm turning on and off on my phone, whatever. It's a great compromise of having it be reasonably thin, giving you good protection, and not being a beast of a case so that you still have a reasonably slim device. The ribbing actually has a gap in the middle, as you can see in this close-up, and otherwise, again, exactly the same cutouts, everything's the same. You know, the framing around the camera lenses is exactly perfect. Nothing at all to complain about. This is my favorite of the Speck cases. It has a really wonderful feel in your hands. I just like it. And the fact that the ribbing it's a 2-tone style, this is black and dark blue, makes it very attractive too. Now again, this one comes in black and grays and 2 different colors of blues and a sort of dual pink color scheme too. Very nice. All of these are $39.95, and you can check them all out at speckproducts.com. Of the Speck cases, this is easily my favorite. I really like the Presidio Grip, and I have used this on my phone many times over a long period of time. Now, let's see if we can get this off, and then we can jump over to the Nomad cases. Now, while I'm switching case companies, let me also ask if you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that. And give me some feedback. Are you one of those hardcore people that gets a brand new $1,000 phone and doesn't use a case? Or are you someone that actually likes a case and figures it's sort of an inexpensive insurance policy? And if so, what are you using and why do you like it so much? Awesome. Thank you. Now, Nomad. So Nomad sent me 2 colors of the same case, and I don't know if color is the right word because these are leather. So these are leather cases, and they're all made out of what's known as Horween leather, which is a U.S. tannery, and they make really nice leather products, very high-end stuff. And these are a little more spendy, not a lot, but they are, maybe not quite as protective, but they definitely give you a nice executive sort of feel, right? So our 3 criterion are, do they have a bezel? And the answer is just barely, even less than the Speck cases. So little that I think it might depend on the surface your phone falls on as to whether the case or the screen is going to absorb the impact. But, that's a choice you'll have to make. And it's kind of interesting because it's not fully leather. There's a sort of black rubber. This is what they call a polycarbonate and TPE bumper system. And then there's leather on the back. So you'll see this much more so with the brown case. But for this one, you know, it does have a bezel, but there ain't much there. It does have shock impact protection. They say it's a 6-foot drop protection, which is about half of what Speck offers, but it's obviously a little bit more of an executive look to it. The cutouts are very nice. They took a very different choice on the bottom cutouts from Speck. You can see in this close-up, and see, they have managed to perfectly center the, I guess, unmute button. I don't even know what Apple calls that nowadays, but that's perfectly centered in their cutout. So Speck, what's the deal, guys? You know, it's a fun part of comparing. So we got that, we got the cutouts, and then it charges. So all perfectly wireless friendly. So this is the black one. It also comes in a brown leather, which I think is considerably more attractive. Now, this is obviously leather. So leather involves actually slaughtering an animal. So for those of you that prefer not to have any animals hurt in the making of your phone case, this might not be the brand for you. But if you like leather and you find that the texture and the colors and everything are very much for your lifestyle, they make really nice cases. And it's a really nice combination. And again, you can see here that it's leather up to about that point on the case. And then it's all that sort of TPE and polycarbonate and stuff. So it's stiff, it's strong, there's lots of padding, there's even a sort of felt finish on the inside to keep your phone protected. And let's put the phone in the case. Kind of a snug fit, but there we go. And you can see on the back, it really is very nice cutouts. In fact, I think Nomad nailed the cutouts better than Speck did. And this is very attractive. It's subtle, you know, it's a darker brown, but as you use it, the oils in your hand will actually change the texture and color of the leather. And this is what's known as leather aging. And it's a really nice effect. It makes things look nicer as they get older, which is very different from some other cases which just look worse when they get older, right? So, Horween leather, 6-foot drop protection, polycarbonate body with TPE bumpers, comes in black or brown. And the rugged case, which is what this one is $49.95 at hellonomad.com, which leaves us with one more case. And this is the Nomad Rugged Folio. Oops, look at me putting the phone in the box and leaving the case out. Mistake. Okay, Rugged Folio. And both companies do a nice job with their packaging, if that's something of interest to you. And the big deal, sorry, I might need to debug this video later because that was a little bug that flew past. The big deal with this is it comes with slots for credit cards and cash. So let's go ahead and I'll put the phone in. And essentially, the phone holder side is the same case. It's basically the rugged case, but this time they have a flap on the front, and the flap includes the ability for you to put in up to 3 credit cards, and then there's actually a cash slot in here too. So that's really nice, and it is brushed and soft, so when it's against your screen, it's nice and soft. I will say, however, that there's nothing holding it closed. So if you're going to put a bunch of stuff in here, it's going to end up like this or something, and that might not be what you want. I've seen others that have little clips or bands, or there's a magnet or something involved. I'm not sure I'd want a magnet right on the screen of my phone, but you could actually look and see what the choices are. Nonetheless, if you like a wallet case and you want to be able to carry some basic IDs and stuff with your phone and have it all look really nice and feel nice, then this is a really nice option. This is the Rugged Folio. Now, let's quickly go through our 3 questions and criterion. And the answer is, of course, since this is basically still the rugged case, it's perfect with all the cutouts. And in terms of the bezel, well, it still doesn't have much at all, but ostensibly you have this. So now if it's dropping like that, then you're good. But more likely as it falls, it's going to do that. And then you've still got that same issue of having insufficient bezel. Nomad, give us another millimeter, just 1 millimeter, and these will be better cases. Now, does it charge? Well, let's find out, shall we? First off, okay, come on, turn off the phone, and then charges wirelessly, and obviously it would do the same thing if you had it closed. It's not like that's going to make any difference because it's on the front of the phone, right? So, I guess here's my thought. So I looked at all these cases, and there's things to recommend all of them. I will say that the Nomad Folio is your best option of all of these if you like a wallet case, but keep looking because you might want one that actually stays closed or has some mechanism that helps you keep it closed, because that obviously is going to give your phone mucho more protection too. Then again, it will probably not be as slim, so there's your trade-offs. But ultimately, of all of these 7 cases I looked at, by far my favorite is still the Speck Presidio Grip. So I'm going to put my phone back in that because that's what I'm going to use for today. And I just like its combination of protection and rugged durability, and its little bit better bezel, but mostly I like the ribs because I like the feel of it in my hand. It doesn't feel like it's going to slip and fall. It feels very safe, and that's a super important criterion. Okay, so lots and lots of iPhone 11 Pro cases. I got more videos coming. We're going to look at a lot of different stuff, but for this collection, my winner of this particular Speck versus Nomad shootout is the Speck Presidio Grip. I encourage you to check it out, and with that, I'll catch you in my next video.